Hi Sami,
Aloha.
thanks for doing this interview with us.
Thank you for doing it.
So I think a good place to start would be, why don't you go through your training background and how you got started in martial arts?
Okay, firstly, I done karate for, I think I was 12 years old or something. Started karate, and I'd done up until I think white belt 2 stripe, but I just convinced my dad, I wanted to do this, and there was so much grading and everything, and you need extra money to grade, get the belt, and then at the time it was like I didn't continue doing it after. It was like, what involved, the circumstances changed. So I done that just for a while, maybe 6 to 9 months or something. And then after that I done a bit of kickboxing, done relays, it was like a little place, bits and pieces I've done with people who've trained in different ways, kickboxing basically. After that, when I was 14, that's when I started training consistently. A friend of mine from school, secondary school, he introduced me to Wing Chun, which he'd started doing it with his older brother, and it was an adults class. So the only reason why we got accepted is by training.
And you were 13, yeah? You were only 13?
Yeah, 14.
14, sorry.
And it was me and my friend, we were around the same age, and everyone else were adults. So we went to adults class, we trained with each other, but it was like everyone else could make jokes, but we had to just be keeping our mouths shut. We didn't make jokes or nothing. So everyone else might have been in the day.
So the teacher was quite strict, was he?
It wasn't strict, it was just a case of we were kids there and we didn't want to be like messing around. So it was just like, don't talk. Even if they made jokes, you might just laugh at it, just train. So train even more. And then kept that consistently twice a week. And then when I went to advanced class in a year or 2, then I was helping teach the beginners class whilst in the advanced class. And so that was good practicality. I'm just getting used to, again, even when we're teaching, again, this is what I got used to from an early age. I don't teach anyone, I put your attention to it. Because when I'm a kid showing adults something, to even avoid the headache of everyone's ego, or even to take the ego out, or even not to massage my ego, keep in check how I pass information along. Because as a kid, even as an adult, I think people need to keep in check with how they pass information along. So even from then, it was, I'm just bringing your attention to this. This is how it's done. This is what it is, rather than do this. Or everyone can pull their own faces how they can do it, but rather than in a manner where I'm telling someone how it is, it's just putting their attention to it. So I got used to putting people's attention to things from that age, or just from what I was learning as I was going along. Wing Chun, that taught my hands the alphabet, teaching my hands to think for themselves. Whenever I'm learning anything else, I would incorporate ways or Wing Chun names or Wing Chun moves or aspects from it to learn it. So rather than what style anything is, just what needs to get done, what movements I need to do, and then what aspects that person will attention to learn it. So I reckon the style is the person, however they interpret anything is the style, anything else is just the idea, the system, or whatever it is. So how each person interprets anything or implements anything is the style, the way they do it, the way they translate it. So Wing Chun for me was awesome, still is. I think what you take from it, how you're going to apply it in certain environments matters. So it's like having a Formula 1 car, but you're going to buy it on a dirt track. So you've got to keep in mind of what you're doing, what you're learning, and how it's applicable to what you're doing. So Wing Chun was good for a while, and then afterwards I think it was 18 years old, started Tai Chi with you, and how you done Tai Chi was lots of, it was form, pad work, conditioning, with applicational bits as well, and even when we applied it wasn't just full on fights, it was technical sparring of how we would incorporate these drills. So that's right, even each just these drills of traveling the lines, and then light sparring, depending on who it was. That's what's good for me. We worked amongst ourselves, like, okay, it's like quite a little harder on the body shots, stop short on the nose or avoid the nose, and the cheekbones might give it a bit more push, just to make degrees of realistic sort of thing. And then competitions, right? First into competitions with you as well. That was the Sancho competition was awesome.
Well, there's actually pushing hands before the Sancho, wasn't there?
Hands, yeah.
What do you think you got from doing the pushing hands ones first?
Again, it was learning about, especially the fix-it, learning about yourself, your balance, what you can and can't do from certain positions, learning how to play your balance from static motion before you get into moving step ones or you're moving around. Just again, rather than just pushing, okay, there's, watching someone pushing both hands, then there's while you're pushing one side, giving another side, or pulling, pushing up, and then letting it go down. So applying these, and then how you would apply it. Like, for instance, like rather than just pushing up, how much you would lean forward to give them a sense of holding your weight before, and how you would let go and breathe. That will be the person of how you drop your weight, how much you lean forward, how much you breathe it. I think every breath has a signature as well. It depends what you're doing. So if you're sitting down, you're breathing a certain way, whether you're conscious or not. And then if you're moving around, just learn, okay, how do I breathe when I'm pushing 3-4 times this way? How do you split that one breath up into pushing? What points you breathe in? It's just down to what you're doing. You just through experience, gather, or get used to. I'll describe it as, especially moving step. It's like if I was running, my internal environment's maintained, and someone can have awesome cardio. They can have the best cardio in the world running, but as soon as you're pushing and pulling, you start adding fuel injection. You've got to have that, like a wrestler type, or otherwise you're suffocating in a certain bit, so you're not breathing in the right bit. So if you're a runner alone, your super cardio, just running with internal environment maintained, would not maybe apply as well. So you can have awesome cardio, but it would just be about how you tweak it, how you push your breaths around, and just exercise that for a moving step or any sort of fighting potential. But moving step was awesome in learning about your cardio. Sometimes like the first 30 seconds you just be full of energy there, you're ready, you've been doing your training, and then urgency of the matter. It's like you're in there, the buzzer goes, the bell goes, and then it's like how much of your energy do you use in that short space of time? Because after you just go, then even if you both clash and go all out unnecessarily, you could both near conk out after the first 30 seconds a minute if you're just going all out without breathing. Then it's like reality check of, how much energy am I using, how efficient is that? How efficient was that? How much energy did I use for just those few points at the beginning? How much more things have I got to do? Opponents such in the same day, or even the same opponent, both you could be careless and just go all out unnecessarily at the beginning, you're both tired and you didn't produce much. But yeah, I think moving step it's a good experience, because another good thing about fixed step is you're not punching, you're not striking, you're not likely to get damaged. I mean, there's an off chance you can fall over and slip or whatever have you, that's like Saturday. But generally, if you're going to enter this competition, you've got, let's just say, the time leading up to the event, butterflies, how you hold yourself, and then that should get you training or do what you're going to do. Then the day of the event, how you compose yourself, keep your mind clear, let the chips fall, whatever you've been doing up to that point, that's what it is, exam day. And then how you package it up and keep it to memory afterwards. I apply this for any competition. So how I hold and compose my mind leading up to the event. Okay, you know what? Appreciate scary. Get in there, do the training. Don't ignore nothing. Whatever you're going to do now is for the exam. So do whatever you're going to do. There is no blaming anyone else. It's up to you. And then the day of the event, the fight, the competition, the way I say, every time I sleep and wake up, my central nervous system resets, and when I got every thought I compose adds to the canvas. So on fight day or competition day, keeping a clear mind. Don't just keep clear, avoid any dramas whatsoever. Nothing's got to do with me. Just maintain zen. Got to maintain zen. Then do my event. Then after event is how I compose as in. I'll be very blunt with myself in the worst possible way of realistic. Okay, this was wrong. This was crap. This was okay. This was good. This is this. This is this. Then after that, I would only keep good things in memory. So I would do blunt, brought to attention if it needs to be worked on. But after that, I'm not going to hold any negative things in my mind. Only optimistic or good things that I'll hold in mind that I took from that experience, and then productive. Okay, I need to work on this and this. But then I'm not sugarcoating nothing. So after that, it doesn't matter what anyone else says or whatever else happens. It's like knowledge done, and then how can I grow from this? So quite a bit bigger than that. Yeah.
And what about your Sancho career? Because you had quite a few fights, maybe 30 or something? 20, 30?
It's been quite, it's
quite a lot.
30-ish would be possibly a number, because it's been afternoon competitions. We had a bunch in the same. I think anyone who fights or competes, even an amateur, semi-pro, pro, let's say even amateur, you're fighting more than once in a day. Wow, that's amazing, because it's difficult. Because you're all, either way, you all compose yourself to begin when the bell goes and fight whatever rules you're fighting with. But at the end of the day, Fighting more than once in a day, I reckon it's difficult. Even professional, I had loads and lots of fights, but I still say, doesn't matter what you're doing, the more you're having more than one fight in a day, it's more difficult. And yeah, it's just the amount of energy it takes, and mentally, composing yourself mentally. But Sancho has been awesome as well, because he incorporated a bit of grappling. So you do your punches and kicks, and when you get too close, you with the element of grappling and throwing them, and it's like a ring with no ropes. You throw them out, or you both fly out. It's exciting in a different way. It just changes things, I suppose. Having a platform off the ground, and you get a chance to compete in Holland. Apart from that, I fought in UK quite a bit. At Sancho in Holland as well. But it's good to any competition really. It's just good to go somewhere, compete, and then to experience wherever you're going to as well along the way. I think fight day is amazing. Whichever any competition I'm doing, whether it's MMA or Sancho or even just fixed up, it's just fight day. Going there, done all the work. Just keep your mind clear. It's not about what it is. Just okay, examine it. Let's just see where I stand. So it's awesome just to see you go there, and then. But even while you're going there, I think it's an experience. I think in that sense each time.
So I just objectively looking at how you've competed over the years, it seems like it was quite a good preparation for you doing your MMA stuff. I mean, you've had like a long MMA career. How many fights have you had? Do you know?
Around 51.
51 professional
50,
MMA fights.
One I had on holiday, so
okay.
I don't think Shadow carried that. So it's 50. So
okay. And how have you found your experience of doing MMA? Because it's been over many years, right?
Yeah, I think
it's a lot of fights.
Years, I think.
It's a lot of fights, and you fought a lot of people that are kind of household names nowadays, right? Guys like Hardy and who's the other guy? Daly. So you've been around a lot.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I think one thing's led to another. I mean, at the beginning, when I was around 14, 15 was it? And then when UFC first come out, there was no weight categories. So I had planned in mind, you know what, 3 years later I plan to enter this, but there's no weight category. So again, realistically, it's like I might just enter one or twice and I might get damaged in such a way. Because I remember a big sumo guy or someone who's like, realistically, what I do, if I come and get someone gigantic mammoth like that, there's going to be some injuries and I might not be able to have many fights like that. But I thought, I just left it, you know what, for what it is, just train, sort of going in that direction, but not everything that I've got to do. It's just more like, in that direction, but just keep doing my training and see what happens. And then along the way, then there was firstly the fixed set competition moving set, and then Sancho. One thing led to another. Even we've got MMA background as well, so we incorporate bits and pieces, stand-up clinch, the conditioning towards and kettlebells. Real earlier on, early 2000ish, we started training kettlebells, which was awesome. I think all one after the other, and then there was a Sancho compounded where I fought someone who'd done MMA, and I thought I was defending my 75 kilo title, but it was not 70 kilo title. But it was at 75 they put it at the fight, so I ended up fighting someone slightly bigger in the MMA background. But that was awesome in a sense of just like, just to fight against someone who's got MMA background. It was just like want to go towards there anyway. And then I ended up emailing quite a bit of places. I ended up actually particular Ultimate Combat repeatedly. They refused me a few times, but I was just explaining, look, I was typing away. Look, I've got a Sancho background. I'm not going to poke the guy's eyes out. I'm not going to pull his hair. I'm not going to bite him. I'm going to go for the kill. I'm going to go for, some nice action-packed adventurous fights with someone else also having their first fight or something. And eventually they allowed me to fight. So that was a pretty good experience in that sense, just to get in there. Both of us were pretty basic, so there wasn't nothing super special about it. It was just, I think we both went for the kill, so it was good to watch in that sense. But yeah, I had lots. I think in MMA especially, in general fighting all the way throughout actually, I'm very careful with my head and my joints. So in training, I'm not looking to get concussed X amount of times unnecessarily. I think people who aren't going to fight end up being more careless with popping each other's arms or getting concussed crazily and not caring about, what's going to make me stronger in the long run, or what's going to wear my body out, or pop my joints in certain ways, which is going to be real weaker. So I paid attention along the way, being more careful in training and careful of others. I mean, yeah, you don't want to start injuring each other unnecessarily. I mean, you might get accidents, but even accidents, I'm extra careful not to allow accidents. So it will be very rare. I'm extra careful, so having more control over everything. And then I think carefully, it's like adding more care. Care is a type of attitude, power, energy, how much you condense your care. I mean, even when you're training, how you put the intensity in it. I reckon there's anger, or again, I've evolved as well my mentality and thinking since I've been training and fighting. Anger could get you around the block, maybe. It's strong. It's like comparing a Dodge Viper, you know? It's going to be real strong, it's going to be powerful, very powerful, get the job done quite in many ways. Then you've got, like, imagine a hybrid a new Viper that uses water. Super. It's like the amount of energy it harnesses, but everything has to be more fine-tuned. Everything's more intricate, so much more power in different ways and so much more control. And then with the mind as well, it's like rather than getting angry at something, again, while I'm training nowadays, when I'm training, it's like, okay, imagine there was an earthquake and there's people trapped underneath. How would I go help them? And then in that way, it's like acid in my veins, and it's like I'm almost about to cry, but I'm not. And then how I recreate them, it's like a different sort of energy. So it's just more crisp and more cleaner. And then even that, oh my word, I'm hearing a baby cry, and we're going, oh, I have to. So creating that, and I'm putting my body's getting so much more out of it in this thought process than just getting angry. Anger, okay, you could do it, and then it goes. But this way, it's just, I just find it grows. It's making myself believe this and making, it's exercising it. I find I can push my body much more in a sharper, stronger, more controlled way, and I don't think there's any negative side effects in comparison to let's just say I get angry all the time, or angry, I break something. Okay, don't keep it in, but every time you break something or get angry, smash something. Now, if I were to get angry against something were to make me angry, my body's going to want to release it. I haven't got that there and then. If I've carelessly always been doing it where I can get away with doing it, I might be in an environment where I can't just bash things and get angry. Then you're going to spontaneously combust, or it's just that your thought process goes. But in another way, it's exercising what I do with perception, how I not get angry. Okay, if this happens that I didn't agree, okay, in training, how can I just, again, raw energy, use the energy? Yeah, I think that's just thinking aloud.
Yeah, interesting thoughts.
Mentality-wise, just as me putting out their thought process with anything, I suppose.
And have you, like, over your MMA career, because there's been so many fights, have you got any particular favourites that you've had, or fighting experiences that you've particularly enjoyed?
I think there's been so many. I think it will be about, in this moment, what I just bring to attention. But there's been so many aspects of it which has been amazing experiences. Even for example, I remember I had to fight a short notice with Abdul Mohammed. He was like ranked real high in the UK at the time. It was on Cage Fighter. They called me. I think not many people took the fight short notice. Anyway, I took it. That was well up there. Apparently, in the weigh-ins before there was a sweepstake going on. Oh my God, this fighting Abdul, sort of thing. I just thought it was a challenge. I don't need to be. I just thought, wow, I'm able to, fight in Cage Rage and fighting in this show. I just think with the fight itself, and rather than even getting angry, the opponent's like, wow, thanks, it takes both of us to make this fight. So even going into this fight, I cut him with an elbow. I don't really celebrate after the fight. I won the fight, but because it was a cut. It was more of the fun part was him with his throws. It was funny. It was like, because I was breaking my fall in the process, I think it was more fun to watch as well. But he's a wrestling background, so he just kept throwing me here, throwing me there, and then I managed to cut him, which the fight got stopped. I didn't really celebrate because it was for what it is. It just got stopped. But I fought him again. On paper, it would have been better, I suppose, not to fight him. Look, just fought so high rank now, pick my fights accordingly. But you know what? I didn't want to go in the direction of, okay, pick fights accordingly. I'm not saying it's wrong, but at the time, didn't have a manager. I just more of like wanted to do my own thing. I'd rather take on the chin every decision I make afterwards. But it was like I fought him again. He beat me on the second one. It was like 15 seconds before the end of the third round, I think it was. But it didn't even matter if the last 30 seconds was fun. I say funny anyway, but it was like while he was punching me and giving me forearm bashes, I have Grant Warm on the ref just telling me, saying, look, you've got to move, you've got to do something, because otherwise I might have to stop it. And I was like, every split second I'm having these strikes, I'm like, he's telling me, okay, you've got to move, okay, you've got to move, because every time I'm looking for a gap, and these bashes are going, it was just a surreal experience. Okay, the ref telling me, you've got to do something, I'm going to have to stop it. And he's like, but it was just that experience in itself. There was loads of throwing about there, some competitions and some fights. I remember Paul Daly, it was banter. We argued for like 2-3 months in forums before we had our fight. Even got published in a magazine. But even when we were bantering back and forth, it was controlled in the sense that he wouldn't insult my family. I mean, how was he going to kick my ass? And so it was awesome. Like it was like, yeah, I'm going to kick ass on this, and no, I'm going to do this too. So it just went back and forth. That was fun in the sense. It was. I also remember how he composed his argument anyway. So it was a nice, clean argument in that sense. And yeah, what else? I think there's been loads. I think experiences of just like there's been loads over 50. Of each of them just prepping for it. Yeah. Some taking it short notice. Some people have been like bigger people from middleweight cutting to welterweight, which was an experience. In fighting someone bigger, okay, how can I just fight someone bigger? How do I stand? How do I fare against someone far bigger? And now I'm even thinking of potentially cutting to featherweight. Okay, it would be more of my test weight would be fighting someone bigger. Then okay, to be more clinical, should I say, or come out. But someone bigger could slow you down as well.
Yeah, because you haven't been fighting for a while, but you're training. You've been training quite hard for a while, and you're getting ready to fight again, right?
Yeah,
so what's your objectives now, like going forward?
I think I've been working loads on linking momentum. So I've been doing quite a bit with kettlebells and then punching 1.5 kilo weights. So a lot of striking and linking momentum with. Again, it would be interesting to see how I do, because linking momentum, even from punching, how I would do into my punch, how I would link into back fist, how I could go on the floor, even on the floor, punch, spin round into the gut, background. So for the strikes as well, and looking for filthy positions to strike from, or filthy ways to strike from on the floor. So people previously having more comfort zones on the floor. I've been working on elbows on the ribs, on the hip bone, while I'm transitioning, changing position strikes. So, or even on the elbow in the shins or the insides of the face. So, taking away comfortable positions from a striking point of view of someone who's just going to hug and sit there. It's like, okay, no. Hopefully, we'll see. Yeah. And then it'll be how I implement it. Okay, I've been training this stuff, and then I'm excited as well. What do I do? And then I think throughout the career as well, there have been times where I've trained something, and years later it's come out in a fight. So it's like, it's not necessarily the last thing you train. You just keep training. It's like calibrate. And things from way early in the days might come through, or things incorporate now. But I feel so much stronger as well, and sharper, and very, very hungry. I appreciate.
Yeah, you're looking really good. From my perspective, you're sharp. You're looking really strong and fit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Mentality is always evolving and changing. Would you have? You could have a vehicle of some sort which you're going to enter in a race on, but it's like the tweak, the calibration you do, it could be the game changer. Of how, like before, again, okay, I'm older, but I see myself as fitter in a way. It's like how I manage my cardio in flows of how I inject the blood round in short bursts, and not just. I suppose anyone in that different time in their lives, they'll I suppose behave or train or implement what they've done accordingly. But yeah, I just see as I suppose for anyone approaching a fight, it's like, how would you approach an argument? You could do it in very different ways. You could come with some sarcastic comment, wait on the reply, come with some replies, or you could just demolish them. So I think each fight is like a potential of I could approach it in different ways. I got not necessarily not set way now. I'll just leave that to the day. Depends on who I'm fighting. But I might even Yeah, I might even just charge them and tell them I'm going to charge them forward, just to see if they run to, if they move to the left or right. Then that'll be the ego. Do they charge me, or do they go to the left or right, or what do they do? So I think that'll be a novelty. But yeah, really, really hungry for it now. And yeah, I'll plan on having loads more. So I will be the first one, will just be for what it is, possibly featherweight or lightweight, and then afterwards we'll be having many more just to see how things develop or what I've been doing, tweak, calibrate.
That sounds awesome, Sami. We're going to have to wrap it up there because we're actually running out of room on this memory card. So thanks a lot for the interview. Cheers.